Okay, so welcome to Empowered Elite's team call for June 22nd. Before we go ahead and get started, does anybody have recognition or rank advancements they want to shout out from last week?
I do.
Go for it. Who is this?
Sorry.
Hi, it's Lindsay.
Okay.
And I'm on my phone, so I don't even know if she's on the call, but Melanie hit Emerald last week, so that's extremely exciting.
Yay. Congratulations, Melanie. No, she's not on at the moment, but.
I have official. Oh, okay. I have one also. Shannon hit last week. She was official last week. And then also Elizabeth will be official tomorrow.
Yay, super exciting. 2 new emeralds. 3 new on the team.
So, yeah, and Michelle Krause officially hit Emerald last week as well.
Ooh, Tucker. Tucker seems like he's thrilled about that.
Yeah, he's really happy for her.
Way to celebrate, Tucker. You're a good part of the family. Well, congratulations, everybody. Is there any other ones before we move on?
Turn around.
No? Okay. Danielle, I'll just let you go ahead and get started, and you can introduce yourself and share a little bit of your story, because my kid is poking me with one of those pointer fingers right now. So take it away, Dee.
All right. I'm honored. Oh my gosh. I'm so honored to speak for you guys. I had to ask Dana. I couldn't remember if I had spoken on the call before, but she said I had spoke for you guys. I'll try to keep my story side of things maybe a little briefer than I usually do. But I'm so excited to share with you guys. So my story starts a long time ago. I started actually way back in like my childhood, because I think it's important for you guys to know that I did not come from like a healthy upbringing. Like, my parents are loving and wonderful in that respect, emotionally, like psychologically great. But when it came to like physical health, they were not the picture of health. We come from a German Dutch background, so it's very, meat, potatoes, like canned vegetables. Like, I joke that I think I had a real leaf of spinach until I was like 20. I joke, but I'm kind of serious. So that's like, I didn't come from that background at all. I struggled with normal girl things in high school. Like, I wouldn't eat all day, and I would try to starve myself, but I liked foods. Like, I was kind of like, I always said I was like a failure of a anorexic, because I like would try really hard at it, and then I would like have come home and just like binge on whatever dinner my mom made, because I like food. So I just kind of, after high school, I just came around to the fact that I loved food, and that was just the way it was going to be. And I kind of like had sort of accepted that I was always going to be a bigger girl. And but I did kind of tell myself, like, if it got to a certain point, I would do something about it. And I never really did anything. Like, once I hit 200 pounds, I'll do something, and I didn't do anything. And then once I have to wear plus size clothes, I'll do something, and I didn't do anything. It was just kind of like empty promises to myself. And I didn't actually do anything about it until my daughter Lily, the oldest, was born. I share a picture occasionally that I lovingly dubbed the Jabba the Hutt picture, because that's how I feel I look in that picture. I'm not, honestly, not being self-deprecating when I say that. It's just what literally the thought that popped into my brain when I saw the picture. And it was a huge wake-up call. And I know I've gotten some backlash on sharing that picture, because people interpret it as me being negative about myself and pregnancy. Let me clear that up real quick right now. Like, this has nothing to do with my pregnancy. Like, my pregnancy was swimmingly wonderful. Like, I was one of those lucky people that had a great pregnancy, healthy pregnancy, contrary to the fact that I was not healthy. I was very, very, very blessed. Like, I think the female body can do incredible things. I've had two successful, healthy pregnancies, and I breastfed both my babies. I believe in the powerful woman's body. I am all for stretch marks and like even cellulite. I don't care. Like you wear your scars and you do it proudly. I'm all for that. So that has nothing to do with my feelings on that picture. However, that picture represented many, many years of me being unhealthy. And it was all kind of a culmination of that, combined with the fact that now I'm bringing life into the world. Like, I have this person that I am now responsible for, and who I want to be around for. And the path I was on was not going to bring me closer to that end. Like, it was not going to guarantee me years of life with my daughter, or very happy years, I should say. Like I was at a stage where like it was really hard for me to walk up the stairs. Like it was really hard for me to get up and off the ground. Like that's really embarrassing to admit. I mean, I just turned 30, so this was almost 5 years ago. So I was mid-20s, and I'm like, I can't do these things that someone my age should easily be able to do. So it was a big wake-up call. So I started journey. I used a variety of things. I did Weight Watchers, and I did a gym membership because I didn't know any better. Like I said, my background, nothing to do with health and fitness, no idea what I was doing. So I did the only things I knew of that existed. Those are those things. So if anybody ever gives you that wonderful price objection, I am here to tell you that it is way cheaper to purchase a challenge pack and join a challenge group than it is to do Weight Watchers and go to a gym and have a personal trainer. I was shelling out $40 a month on Weight Watchers, about $50 a month on gym membership. Granted, I know there's cheaper ones out there, but at the time that was the only one in my area. And $300 a month on a personal trainer 3 times a week, half an hour pop. So that wasn't even like all of my workouts. Like I was still responsible to do some of it by myself. But I did that because that's the only thing I knew. I'm like, these things will teach me what I'm supposed to do. So when you're worried about sharing on social media what's out there and what you found that works, like don't be afraid to share that, because if I knew that this existed, I could have saved myself a lot of money. So I did that for a while, saw success, and then I plateaued, partially because while I think mostly fondly of Weight Watchers, it does not emphasize really healthy, balanced eating. You can still get away with eating a bunch of processed junk and get away with it. And then to go along with that, I was working full time. I was commuting an hour one way, and I had my daughter at home. Like I didn't want to go to the gym. Like I didn't want to go work out with a personal trainer at 5 o'clock at night. I wanted to be home with my daughter, eating dinner and playing with her, because she was only going to be awake until about 8 o'clock. So my gym attendance slowly started to decline. So I think that all kind of contributed. I had been following some fitness pages on Facebook and had seen the words Beachbody and Shakeology, but I really didn't know what they were, because I had seen other words like Herbalife and Advocare and all these other things. Like I really didn't know what was what. But Beachbody was the one that stuck out to me because they had fitness programs. I was really intrigued by the whole idea of working out at home, where I could work out with my daughter, not have to know what I'm doing, because I really didn't still, and see some results. So I posted something on my wall, just like, hey, does anybody know what this is? Because really, when people Google things, like, yes, there's a lot of really great information, and I'm like the Google advocate. Like I love Google, but there's also very biased views out there. Like you either get, like if you Google Shakeology, you will get Beachbody coaches telling you how amazing it is, and you will get people who tried it once with water and say how terrible it is. So I really didn't know what was up, what was that, like when it came to that, I didn't know. So I put something out there just for my friends. Like I need to find someone I trust that I can ask. So I got connected to Elizabeth Hartke. I didn't know her. I've connected through a mutual dear friend, and I trusted that friend's recommendation. So I connected with Liz, and we started chatting, and I became the customer that everyone hates. Like I was the person who, she sent me a link, and I was like, oh yeah, I'll do it today. And then I didn't do it. And then like she's checking a month later, and I'd be like, oh yeah, I'll do it. And ask some more questions, and I still wouldn't do it. It took like 4 months of that back and forth before I actually said yes. And like I was so embarrassed by my like non-responsiveness that I was like deleting her messages. I never delete messages. I never delete emails ever. And I deleted her first message because I was so embarrassed that I like wasn't gonna follow through. So when people stop responding, I mean, like, don't read into it. It has nothing to do with you. It 100% had everything to do with me. It was not Liz. But it was definitely me. And like, I just wasn't ready to spend the money. I didn't want to take the leap. I was afraid of failing. I was afraid of a lot of things. So I had to get myself to a point where I really believed in it, which came July 2013. I jumped in with T25 when it released, and Shakeology. And I was that person that was like, yeah, Shakeology, and we'll see. But about a month in, I finally saw results again. Like I finally hit my 50 pounds lost mark. I was so excited. I finished T25, and I found out I was pregnant, like literally like the Monday after. And I was elated. I mean, we planned on a second child. Like that was great. But I kind of like prior to that, I had signed up as a discount coach, hobby coach. Like I was like feeling it out, but I didn't really believe in the opportunity at that time. Like I didn't see the potential for growth. I didn't see what it could do for my life. I just was kind of putzing with it is kind of how I put it. Like I wasn't really doing it. I hit Success Club my first month and I don't think I'd hit it after that. Like I was kind of like, whatever. If it's not going to come easy, I'm not going to do it. Like that's kind of how I approached it. Like if people aren't banging down my door, then I guess I'm not hitting Success Club. Like I like wasn't willing to put myself out there or do anything about it. So when I found out I was pregnant, I mean, first trimester hit me like a ton of bricks. I mean, I wasn't super sick, but I was super tired. I was so exhausted. I was working 45 plus hours a week. I had my daughter at home, my husband who I love. Like I was like, this just isn't going to work. So I actually submitted my cancellation form on November 1st of 2013, just to cancel my coaching account with the idea like, oh, maybe I'll try it out again when I'm done being pregnant, when I can have a transformation and whatever. Because in reality, I was still overweight. Like I still had 50 pounds to lose. I was pregnant now. So I'm like, who wants to take advice from an overweight pregnant chick? Like, I'm like, nobody. So I was like, well, I'll just cancel. So Liz, being the amazing coach she was, reached out to me and was like, hey, what's going on? Because, she got that lovely email that said I was canceling. And I was like, oh, hey, like, I'm about 4 weeks pregnant. I haven't announced it yet, but I'm just like, I don't think obviously can't do this. And she's like, well, what do you mean you can't do this? I was like, whoa. And she's like, I don't think you believe in the power of your story yet. Like, I don't think you really know what this can do for your life. She's like, I support you no matter what you decide, but I don't think you really get it yet. She's like, if you want to do things with this business, like it can do big things for you. And she's like, and I see that for you. Like, I see that, like your story's powerful. You have a way of talking to people. Like this can be big. And I was like, yeah, okay. So like I took back the cancellation. Praise Jesus. I took back the cancellation and I didn't do anything about it. I just kind of sat in it like, oh, we'll see. Like I'll do it when I'm done. Like it was one of those like she didn't pressure me, but she like talked to me enough that I was like, I feel bad for canceling. I'll just hang out. So I was the lurker in the team page. I like creeped on everybody and all the awesome things they were doing. I signed up at the same time as Colleen Curtis and Annalisa Hurley. So I just kind of like watched what they were doing and all these kind of cool things and just kind of hung out. Well, January of the next year, so 2014, I was working a job for a while that like, I mean, it was fine. Like it paid the bills. It was like kind of a cush job, but I wasn't passionate about it. And I hated the corporate bureaucracy that happens. Like I hated the red tape. I hated being controlled and told when I could miss work and when I can't, like what appointments my kids had that were important and what was not, when in reality that should be my decision. January of that year came and I was informed that I would get 2 sick days that year total. So starting in January through December, I would get 2 sick days. I used them before January 15th because Lily was in daycare. She got ear infections pretty frequently, and along with those came fevers, meaning she couldn't be at daycare. And my husband and I we alternated, so it was like one time it'd be me, one time it'd be him, so like neither one of us would miss a ton of work, but it was still like it adds up really quickly. And that year was also super cold. So I'm from Wisconsin. For those of you that aren't familiar with the area, it can get like -30 with the wind chill. They don't always close the schools, but sometimes they do. This winter was particularly bad that they actually closed the schools the day before. And my daughter's daycare was attached to the school district. So I knew the day before that her daycare was going to be closed. So I told my boss, I'm like, at that job, I had capabilities of working from home. Like I had a laptop, I had a cell phone. My job was 100% something you could do at home. Like, in fact, my boss and I had conversations about how ridiculous it was that we had to be physically at work when this is something you could do remotely anywhere. So I said, I'll work from home tomorrow. I'll make sure everything gets done. I won't miss anything. I'll be there for meetings, whatever. And I did. I was 100% present. My daughter sat in front of the iPad and the TV all day because I'm like, I can't really miss work. And it was great. I remember thinking, like, we were sitting in front of the fireplace. I'm like, this is nice. Like watching her kind of play and like sit next to me and do work. I'm like, this was nice. Like, I wish it could be like this every day. I felt really good about it. And I was like super productive, like probably more productive than I would have been at work. And I came to work the next day and I got reprimanded by my boss for missing work. like, you can't miss work. This counts as one of your sick days. And I was like, I already used my sick days. And she's like, well, we'll let this one go. But in the future, you're gonna have to use vacation for things like this. I'm like, I just worked. Like, I just like spent the entire day that I could have spent with my child, and you're telling me I'd have to use a vacation day for that? I went back to my office and I cried and I like had a mental breakdown. Like, it was like one of those moments you just like never forget. Like, it's like one of those, I don't know how to explain it. It's like back against the wall. Like, what the hell am I gonna do? I'm like, I'm pregnant. This is not gonna get better. So I remember sitting on the computer and I was like scrolling through like these various job application sites and like looking for other jobs. And I remember like typing in work from home like a million times and never coming up with anything legit. And then I was on Facebook because I was just like so defeated. And I swear, I'm not even joking. I prayed a lot about it. Like in that moment, like it was like one of those like knees on the ground, except I wasn't because I was pregnant. Like just like, Jesus, like show me something. Like I need something to change. This cannot be my life. Like this cannot be forever. Like this is like, it's like soul crushing. And I kid you not, I went on Facebook and it was like every single post was something from someone on our team. Like it was something they're doing, something amazing. Liz had these amazing posts. Like she posted on the team page, all these things. And it's like everything clicked. Like it was like that moment was just like, it's like the skies opened up. It was like, ah, like it was like totally one of those like picturesque moments that you like see in the movies for me. And I was like, okay, like it's been staring at me like this whole time. I'm like, I just wasn't ready for it. Like I just like didn't see it. So I sent Liz a message that day. It was January 21st, 2014. I sent Liz a message and was like, come in. I'm like, I don't know what that means. Like, I don't know how to be in, but I am. Like, you tell me what that means and I'll do it. I messaged Colleen, I messaged Annalisa, I messaged a few other people that I like knew that were on the team. And I was just like, what are you guys doing? I'm like, tell me what you're doing because I'm going to do it too. Like, I'll figure it out. Like, I don't know what it's going to look like, but I'll do it. And I did. I figured it out. Like, made it work. So I set a date with Liz that, like, from that day, I was like, okay, I'm like, I want to be home with my kids in a year. Like, 1 year from now, I want to be home. I want to be doing this full time. Like, no questions. Like, it has to happen. She's like, okay. And, like, we had one-on-ones every week. We were, like, I was relentless about those because something about talking to her just always, it's like these team calls and like, if I don't know if Dana does I assume she does one-on-ones with you guys. If she offers that to you, like take advantage of that because she might not tell you anything mind-blowingly new, but hearing it from somebody who's been through it for some reason is just the most enlightening experience. So I was relentless about my one-on-ones for a good 8 months. Like she probably was sick of me, but like I was like vigilant about them. Being on team calls, vigilant. I was there. I showed up every single day. Now remember, I was working full time. I had a daughter at home. I had a husband I love. I was pregnant and we were moving and buying a house. Anybody that's done any of those things knows how exhausting that is. And I decided to become a coach. Like I decided to take this on and go, like freaking go for it. Like not, I'll do it when it's convenient. I'll do it on Saturdays when I'm home and nothing's going on. Like I literally was like, no, this is happening. I used every single lunch hour I had as my power hour because it was uninterrupted and I could do it. I would use any moment of like interruption in our day. So it was like, okay, Zach and the kids are clearing the table. I'm going to respond to somebody really quick. And I was always, just for the record, anybody that has like an unsupportive spouse, I want to emphasize that I was very communicative with Zach. Like I was always, okay, I'm going to message this person really quick while you do that. Okay, I'm going to sign this person up really quick and do this. Oh, and when I sign them up, that's $40 in our bank account. Like, I put it in terms that he could understand. Those people weren't money to me. They weren't dollar signs to me. But I knew that I had to show him why I was doing it. And he says to this day that those things that I did, explaining those things to him while I did it, was very, very helpful. Like, it was very, like, it started to sink in. Like, every time I had a big check, I'd be like, oh, I just earned $500 this week from helping people. And he's like, what? It spoke to him. So find that language that your spouse speaks and speak that to them. And I know Zach he's not all about the money, but he knows we have a lot of debt and it stresses him out. So if I could put it in terms of like, okay, I'm paying off this credit card with this money that I earned doing this thing. Like, remember that time I was on my phone for 5 minutes? Like, it translates to this. That really helped. Anyways, little sidebar. So I was able to quit my job after a year. January 28th, 2015, I gave my notice, and February 9th was my last day. And I've been doing it ever since. So just over a year and a half-ish, almost a year and a half. And I love it. It's amazing. I am so incredibly thankful for this opportunity in every possible way. Like this, I want to emphasize something else, that this was never a possibility for me before. Like my corporate job was twice what Zach's salary is. And Zach earns a good salary. He has a good job, very, very good employer. But I was always supposed to be the breadwinner. Like that was always the plan, was that I was going to work. Up until Lily was born, that was the plan, was I was going to be like a CEO of a company, which I am, but I was going to be a CEO of this big international company. Like I was going to bust my ass. I was just getting my MBA. Like it was going to happen. I didn't care how much time I missed at home. And then like that baby came into this world and changed everything. She came in the world and I didn't want that anymore. And then I was like, shit, now what? Like I set my life up that I have to do this. Like I can't not work. Like I can't not earn an income because I'm making a lot of money and I can't just leave. Like we have a 2-income household. Like it was not a possibility. So I want you to know that if that's your goal, it is 100% possible, but you have to put in the work.
Danielle, can I stop you for a second?
Yeah.
Because I know that there is some coaches on this call right now that do want to be full-time and quit their full-time jobs. Would you, if you could sum up like the top 5 things.
I have 10 things.
That helped 10 things that got you from that point A of setting that goal of like, I'm going to quit my job in a year to actually making that a reality. What were the action steps that you had to take to make that happen?
Yep. You're like a mind reader, Dana, because that's exactly like my next step is to tell you guys how I did it. Like, it doesn't matter what I did. It matters how I did it if you want to be able to duplicate my results. Okay. So my top 10 keys to success, and none of these are going to be new to you. None of them are going to surprise you. I'm sure Dana is probably a broken record on some of these, because when we talk about those things, when you hear us say things like more than once, there's a reason. Like, it's not because we want to be annoying or reneging you. It's because we really want to drive home the point that this really is what you should be doing. Okay. So number one, when I asked Liz, how do I do this? This is my goal. How do I do this? The first thing she told me is you hit Success Club every month. Every month. Success Club 10 every month, non-negotiable. I missed 2 months in 2014, but other than that, I have hit Success Club 10 every single month of my business. So shit happens. Like, I'm sorry, I swear a lot. I'm really sorry. But not Siri, sorry. Okay. Stuff happens, like things happen. I am the first to tell you that I have not hit every goal I've set in this business. Like, far, far from it. I've hit a lot of goals I've set in this business. I've hit important ones that were really, really important to me, but failure happens. Like, and I think that that's something to really stress. Like, if you're not failing, you're not succeeding. Like, that's a really, really important thing to realize. But Success Club is one of those things you cannot write off. Like, you cannot say, it's okay if I don't hit it this month. The 2 months I didn't hit it, I did not approach it that way. Like, I was going until 11:59 p.m. the last day of the month. Sure, I had some slip-ups throughout the month where maybe I wasn't as vigilant about things as I should have. I started coasting, like, and that was my learning lesson. Like, those 2 months were my, like, wake-up call to, no, you have to go back to what you were doing before, because that was what was working. So Success Club is a non-negotiable. If you want to quit your full-time job, Success Club 10 is a non-negotiable. Like, it's just not, we shouldn't even have to talk about it, like, in my opinion. Like, it shouldn't even be open for conversation as to whether or not you hit it. It's like, that's not even a goal you write down. Like, that's just a goal that happens. Like, it's happening at the end. Because that is the lifeblood of your business. I was fortunate enough to go on retreat with Liz and her team of leaders a few weeks ago, and Christina Delgado was there. If you guys don't follow her, she's amazing. I'm like obsessed with her. Love her. She's amazing. And she said this exact same thing, that Success Club is the lifeblood of your business. If you are not hitting Success Club, your business will die. And she's like, and I'm not saying that to be harsh. None of us are saying that to be mean or harsh or anything. It's just a fact. Like, if you're not bringing new people into your business every month, your business will die, because people will cancel, things happen. I'm living proof of that. I'm sure Liz thought she had it locked in with me that, like, I was going to be someone she could rely on forever, and I fell off the face of the planet. So, like, you have to live and breathe Success Club every month. Like, it needs to become one of those, just like well-oiled machines where it just happens. Like it just happens every single month. And it takes a while to get to that point. It wasn't, Dana, I'm sure can agree with this, that like people weren't banging down our doors when we started. Like, it's not like, I hit Success Club 10 in 2 days and was like, done, sweet, moving on. Like, it wasn't like I had people lined up at my door. It was like, I went out and found people. Like, I went out and like put myself out there, like, let's do this. Okay, so more into how you do that. Okay, so that's number one. Like, that's just, you have to hit Success Club. Number two, power hour every damn day. Again, sorry. Oh, I'll get it right. I'm sorry. Okay. Power hour every single day. I was relentless about my power hour because I had to be. Like I said, I was super busy. I felt like I had no time in my day to be spending on things. I had to make that hour happen. So my lunch hour was my power hour every single week, every day while I was at work. And then I would do extra throughout the day. So like I would do my power hour was like the core of like, I'm inviting, I'm forming, I'm posting. I scheduled my posts. Like I was like relentless because I knew I had to be. If you can't be on your phone or on Facebook during the day, schedule some posts. Like the super cute recipe that you made or yummy recipe you made last night, put that into a post for tomorrow morning at 7 so people can make it for dinner. Like think ahead a little bit if you struggle with doing it in the moment. Or like as a mom, I still sometimes will schedule posts just because like life is crazy. Like if we're going to the zoo, I might post once, but I'm not going to post as many times as I would normally post. But power hour every single day, I don't care where you're at in Success Club. I don't care where you're at in rank. Like I don't care. You have to have a power hour of some sort. You have to be inviting every single day. You have to be doing it. If you're not doing it, you're not doing your business any good. Because that is honestly where your business will grow the most is that power hour. Not that like your posting is important because it ties everything together, but like that's like maybe 15 to 20% of the whole thing. The rest of it is that power hour. It's the forming, it's the following up, it's the building relationship, it's the inviting people and telling them what you do. That is the core of your business, and that's why we talk about power hours so much, is because that is what you need to be doing every single day. If you don't know how to structure them, ask Dana, ask on your team page. People can share that information. It doesn't have to be complicated. I do 5 things. 5 things? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 things. I do friend requests for like 5 minutes. I do forming. I do numbers. I don't do time because with being home with the kids now, it's a little different. Just that like I don't always have an hour, so I'll do kind of steps if I have to, but I know how many people I want to form with. I will follow up with people. I will invite to a challenge group, and I will invite to the business opportunity every single day. Every single day. In addition to posting and checking in with my challengers and personal development, workout, Shakeology, like that stuff should be like breathing. Like if you've been a coach longer than like a month, like that stuff should be like, I do that without even, like I make my shake. I don't like mark it off on a list because I'm like, I do it every day. Like it's literally like going to the bathroom. Like I just like, it just happens. Like it's part of life. So those things I said that were so like, oh yeah, like workout, Shakeology. Like if that's not something you're living and breathing yet, like that's your main focus. Like take care of you first. And then this stuff should be the next thing, if that makes sense. Okay, so number 3, this is huge, and I think sometimes people gloss over this, is that you have to have a crystal clear why that makes you cry. We don't say that just because it rhymes and sounds cute. Like, I have seen coaches in this business who could be incredible coaches, but because they don't have a why that motivates them, they flounder. Because they think their life is good the way it is. They maybe don't see a potential moving forward. They're content. So they don't have something pushing them to step outside their comfort zone or to, do it when it gets hard. Like they're just kind of like, meh, like whatever. But the coaches in this business that are like, no, like this has to work, are the ones that make it work because they don't have a choice. That was me. I didn't have a choice. Like this was my only way to get on my job. So I had to make it work. When I came home at night and I was dead exhausted, I mean, I just wanted to curl up in a ball and like never wake up again. Like I would still get on team calls. I would still do my posts. I would still read my personal development. Like I would still do these things that maybe didn't seem like a priority or like they'd make a big impact at that moment, but I would still do them because it was that important to me. Another thing about a why that makes you cry. Okay, so something I don't share a lot, so you guys are privy to some information. I quit my job before I was really ready to. I was dead set on that year mark, and I wasn't making what I wanted to be making when I quit. But I felt momentum in my team, which is big. I actually had active coaches really blowing their business up, and some rank advancements coming down the pipeline. I saw some big things happening. But what pushed me to do it was, if you guys have read You Are a Badass, which I assume a lot of you probably have, there's a chapter she has in there about the car. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, like, you have to read that chapter, because that chapter is like the reason I quit my job and the reason my business did what it did. Because she talks about the Audi versus, I think it's the Honda or the Mazda. I can't remember. I always get those two mixed up. Don't tell my dad that. He's a car freak. And she ended up buying the Audi. She should have very well bought the cheaper car, but she bought the Audi, and it forced her into doing things she wouldn't have done. And she ended up making her first, I don't know, 6 figures that year, or first $1 million. I don't know. Like, she like blew up her business because she did this thing and put her back against the wall. I read that chapter, and I literally, like, an hour later had a conversation with Zach and said, I'm quitting my job. Like, I felt momentum. I felt the shift. I'm like, I can make this work. And so I quit my job, and I doubled my income in 1 month. Like, I went from, and I'd been averaging the same income probably for like 3 months. And in that 1 month I doubled it, and it kept increasing from there. Because I said, I'm like, this has to work. Like, I quit my job. It's the same thing I felt when I said I'm going to quit my job a year from now. I was like, I don't have a choice. I quit my job. I literally, if I want to put food on my table, I have to make this work. I was consistent about my Success Club 10. That was the first month I hit Success Club like 27 and Success Club 12 in Zach's account. I have never, ever done that before. Never even come close. But I was so hell-bent on it, and I wasn't pestering people. It was the energy I put out there. It was the this is happening. Like, I'm going to make this work. My goal was 5 challenge packs a week. I think I missed it 1 week that month. Like, I was going for it because I'm like, I'm not going back to work. Like, it's not happening. And that momentum kept going. No, I don't hit Success Club 27 every month. Sorry, Dana. Like, I'm not that person. I know. But I'm still consistent. Like, the next month I hit 12. The next month I hit 10. Like, I kept the momentum going, and it kept my income increasing. So I just want to share that with you. Like, it wasn't like all of my stars aligned and everything's perfect. Like, I think that's important to understand. Like, we talk about failure. Like, that's, to me, kind of failure. I wasn't making what I wanted to be making at that point, but I was damn determined to make it work. All right, back to my list. Number 4, set goals every day, every week, every month, every year. You have to goal set. I know that was something I was really scared of when I started, when I was doing my one-on-ones with Liz. She's like, set a date. And I was like, for what? I was like, what am I setting a date to? And she's like, well, when are you going to hit diamond? And I was like, at the end of the year. And she's like, no, like, that's not, no, we're going to move that up. And I'm like, well, what if I don't hit it? And she's like, what if you don't hit it? Like, what happens? And I was like, nothing. Exactly, nothing. Like, but guess what else happens if you don't set a date? Nothing. Like, it's not going to hurt you guys to set dates to things. It's not going to hurt you to set goals. Goals are beneficial to you because they give you a vision. They give you something to aim for, something to go for. And I will tell you, every big goal I've set for myself that I've missed, I was light years ahead of where I would have been had I not set that goal. So set it with the intent of, I'm going to push like hell for that. I'm going to make that happen. And if you don't, you're going to be that much further along in your business. But you have to set goals, and you have to have a game plan to meet your goals. Okay? So if you're saying you want to quit your job by the end of the year, you better have some significant actions happening every day, every week, every month, every quarter. Like, you better be making some big things happen, because you can't set big goals and have small action. Your actions have to match your goals. Okay, number 5, become an expert storyteller. Who are you? Like, I like to ask that question to my coaches. Like, who are you? Like, define yourself for me. And don't just say mom and wife. Like, yeah, okay, that's helpful. Like, I could get that by, the kid on your hip, or like the kid screaming in the background. But like, who are you? Like who are you? Like, what makes up who you are outside of that? Like, if your kids and your husband weren't in the picture, who would you be? Like, who are you? It's more than Shakeology selfies and quotes from other people. Like, I want to know who you are. Get vulnerable. Like, that's a big piece. Vulnerability isn't just, like, Dana has an incredible story. She's an amazing, vulnerable story. But even if you don't have any trauma in your history or any like life-altering things that happen in your life, like, you are still someone, and you are someone I want to get to know. Like, your story itself, like who you are, is the vulnerable piece. Because a lot of times we don't want to share all of us. Like we don't want to share our struggles. We don't want to share the things that make us who we are and maybe we're not like as happy about. I'm very imperfect and I'm very open about that. I've actually, this business has gotten me to a point where I'm very, very, very comfortable sharing the stuff about me that maybe 10 years ago I would have been like, oh, please don't talk about that. I'm a very sarcastic person. I laugh about everything. It's kind of a defense mechanism. I'm not gonna lie. I swear a lot more than I should, and in front of my kids too. But like there's peace, like I try to share those things with people because that's who I am. Like that makes me who I am. And that's the thing that will connect me with the people that I want on my team, because the people that I want on my team are the people that get me. And the people that are going to get me are the people that are like me. And for them to know that they're like me, I have to share who I am. So it's really important. Share who you are, faults and all. Like it doesn't matter. People are going to relate to that and they're going to accept that and they're going to love you regardless. And the people that don't can see the door. Like it doesn't matter. Like you don't want those people who don't get you to be on your team anyway. Like they're just going to suck the energy out of you. It's just a fact. Shalene Johnson and I should never work together because I am kind of a proofreading fanatic. I'm a grammar fanatic. I'm really sorry. No, I'm not. She said she had a podcast about branding and sharing who you are. And she said, she's like, if you are like a grammar freak, we shouldn't work together because we're going to drive each other crazy. I don't give a shit and you're going to care. So we should not be friends. And I'm like, she's right. We should not work together. That is 100% accurate. So think of it like that. Like that's a really simple example, but you want people who are going to be like you because they're going to get along with you and everything's going to go so much better. Number 6, personal development. Like it has to be on here. Like, let's just be honest. Like if you're not doing personal development, again, you're not going to grow your business. Like you have to be working on you first and foremost. Like you are your business. You are your brand. So if you're not working on you and taking care of you, you can't help anybody else. If you have nothing to give, if your cup is not full, you have nothing to give anyone else. So if you struggle with, this is something that I share with my team a lot because I came from a very busy time when I became coach. Still I'm pretty busy, even staying home with the girls. If anything, it's more busy, if you can believe that. But fill your time. So like if you're cooking, put on like a podcast or something. Put it in the car. I had Jim Rohn's, I can't remember what CD it was, but it was a CD that we had up for a group. I don't remember what it was, but it was in my car for the longest time. And I swear I listened to that CD through like, I don't even know, like 100 times. Yes, that's exactly it, Dana. But it was in my car. I literally left it in my car. I would catch snippets every like once in a while as I'm driving. Even though it was the same CD for the longest time, I would get to wherever I was going. I would be all amped up, like, yeah, like, let's get this thing. Like, I'd go to like, yeah, the car dealership or something. I'd be like, yeah, like, let's get this oil change. I'm ready. Because it filled me up. So find something that speaks to you, find something that fills you up and just swim in that. Like just surround yourself with it. If you don't like reading books, then don't read the damn books. Like get podcasts, listen to books on audio, like watch YouTube videos. I don't care. Like find something that works for you and do that, but you have to do it. Like it has to happen. Okay, number 7, be a great student. One of my favorite quotes is a good coach is a good student. Like be proactive. All the answers you want are out there. YouTube, Google, your Coach Online Office, FAQs, team page, they're out there. If you're wondering about it, someone else has wondered about it and it exists somewhere. Like, and if not, then you should make a video about it and go viral and share the shit out of it. I don't care. But be a good student. Like learn about things. Like if you're floundering in social media and you don't feel like you're getting any traction, then learn about social media. Like figure out what's wrong. Take a training. Like, do a training with your coach. Like do a one-on-one with Dana and be like, why am I floundering? Like look at my social media. What could I be doing differently? She might direct you to a training, or she might just say, yeah, maybe you could share a little bit more about you. A little less Shakeology selfies. I don't know. Like, but be a good student, be willing to fail, be willing to figure it out, because we don't have it figured out. Like we only figured it out because we put the time in to learn about it. Like that's the only reason. The only reason I know what time my posts work and times they don't is because I learned that when I post at 2 p.m., no one is going to like anything I post. No one. Because no one I'm connected to looks at Facebook at 2 o'clock in the afternoon for whatever reason. But I only learned that because it didn't matter what I posted. No one likes stuff at 2 p.m. So I stopped posting at 2 p.m. But you got to figure it out. You got to be willing to learn and to figure it out. I think Natalie Bailey on our call, she said, knowledge isn't power, knowledge is potential power. So go and learn a bunch of stuff. but put it to use. Like, don't just sit on it. Like, if you memorize your entire back office and FAQs, and you know how cycling works, you know how the ranks work, and you know how everything works, but you're sitting at coach and like you haven't even signed up a single coach, like none of that knowledge is going to do you a lick of good. So if you're going to learn stuff that actually matters and stuff that actually is going to benefit you right now. Like, I don't know what it takes to be 15-star qualifying right now. Like, I know you have to have 15 diamonds. That's roughly what I know. I'm nowhere near 15 stars, so I don't need to worry about it right now. What I want to worry about is 5-star. What I want to worry about is 7-star, 10-star maybe. Like, I want to know what's going to benefit me right now, because me knowing what 15-star does doesn't benefit me right now. Like, that's not going to help me. So learn what you need to know and then use that. Number 8, the key is in the follow-up. 100% in the follow-up. I thanked Liz again at retreat for following up with me, because if it wasn't for her follow-ups with me and remembering that I exist, I might not be doing this. Like, I am thankful for her follow-up. I am 100% thankful for her follow-up, more than she knows. You are not being relentless or I shouldn't say relentless. You are not being annoying. You are not being nagging by following up with people. Okay, if you're following up with them multiple times a day, every day, that's a little much. Let's cool it a little bit. But if you're following up with them because they're interested, like, they opened that door. Like, if they say, hey, tell me more about this program, and you told them stuff and they really want to get in your group and then suddenly stopped responding, you should probably reach out to them and make sure they don't want to get into your group. And if they still don't respond, maybe another message. And then maybe check in with them next month. Like, I don't ever take anybody off my list. No one. Everyone stays on my list. Everyone moves. They move within the list. So they move from follow-up to 10 and play to wherever. But, like, they're always on the list, even if they say no. Like, sorry, you're not getting off the list. You have to unfriend me. You got to move on, I guess. But don't be afraid to follow up with people. I am one of those people that, one, if I read a message and I don't respond right away, I won't respond because I'll forget. Like, I'm the most forgetful person in the entire world. Number 2, my kids get a hold of my phone all the time. All the time. Like, I cannot leave my phone within, like, arm's reach of my children, or they will have it. And they will open up every notification that pops up while they have my phone. I actually got in big trouble with a lead I had, not a lead, someone from my like page, I think it was. She had emailed me. I never saw the email because my child read it, archived it, did something to it where I did not see it. And she sent me a nasty gram a few days later saying how she knew once she told me she didn't have any money that I would never talk to her again, and how she hopes no one ever signs up with me again because I'm just scamming people. And I, like, saw the message. I was like, who is this person? Where did this come from? How did this happen? Because I didn't see it. Like, I literally, like, didn't see her message. So don't feel bad about following up with people. You're doing them a favor. If they don't like it, they'll let you know. They'll unfriend you, they'll block you, they'll do something. And honestly, again, you don't need them. It's fine. Number 9, recruiting is a gift. I'm so thankful that Liz recruited me. My life has forever changed. You have to think about, maybe you just signed up, maybe you haven't seen the success that you want to see in this business, but you have to look at where you're going and where you plan to take this and what it's do for you, and look at that like a gift. Like, you are just sharing that gift with other people. When I talk to people about this business opportunity, I know what it did for me. Like, I know that I would not be home with my children if it was not for this opportunity. 100% would not be home with them. I would be miserable in a job, hating my life, surrounded by negative people pulling me down. That's where I would be. This is a gift. It is not a scam. It is not, you're not trying to hurt them in any way. Like, you should be sharing the crap out of this because you're going places and you want to take them with you. That's all it is. Number 10, consistency is huge. It's everything. The only reason I am where I am today, the only reason Dana is where she is today, is because of consistency. Is that we show up every day. We don't like it all the time. Her and I have had plenty of text messages where I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go to bed. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. Like, we don't sit on that, but we say it, we get it out of our system, and then we go do it anyway. At retreat, Kim Carver was there. I don't know if you guys know who Kim Carver is. He's incredible. He's amazing. I love him very dearly. He shared with me about discipline. Because I asked him a question. I'm like, okay, you know where I am. You know who I am. We've been connected on social media for over about a year and a half. Like, I'm 2.5 years in my business. I'm 5-star qualifying. I'm, like, home with my kids. I'm, at this level. Like, what's your advice for me? Like, what would you tell someone in this position if it wasn't me? Like, what would you tell them? And he said, honestly, discipline and time. That's the only difference between you and Christina and Liz and anyone else you've seen this business that's further along than you is discipline and time. So you have to give it time. Like, you're not going to be 15-star diamond overnight. It's not going to happen. Like, you're not going to be the millionaire club overnight. Not going to happen. Discipline. Discipline is doing the right things, doing the things you should be doing that you don't like to do. So if you like working out, doing that every day is not discipline. That's just something you like to do. But if you don't like inviting, doing that every day is discipline. And that's the thing that differentiates between successful coaches and unsuccessful coaches. So discipline is consistently doing the things that you don't want to do. And we all have those things that we don't want to do. Like, we all do. Like, it's a fact. I hate setting up my challenge groups. I'm not gonna lie to you. I like my challenge groups. I like when they exist, but I hate setting them up. I hate going through the process of setting up a new group. I hate going through the process of making a new cover photo. I hate doing graphics. Like, I hate doing those things, but I do them because I have to. Like, it's part of the job. Every job's gonna have stuff you don't like, but if you don't do them, that's not gonna benefit you. So figure out what the things are that you don't like to do that you need to do every day, and put them at the top of your list. Do them right away. Get them out of the way. Like I said, like Dana and I might complain about what we don't want to do, but we say it. The other person says do it anyway, and we do it. Like, we don't actually need someone to tell us what we have to do it, but sometimes we just like to say, okay, I don't want to do this, but I'm going to do it anyway. It's fine. So momentum is your best friend, and the only way to maintain momentum is by being consistent. You want to. My husband shared this graphic, and I should have kept it. But it's like, I don't know if it's like a train wheel or something. I don't know. Like, it's something big on a train track. That's all I know. Wheel, what is it called? Flywheel? No, I don't know what it is. But anyway, it's this thing that, like, it takes a lot of momentum.
A flywheel.
Flywheel, is that right? I thought that's what it was. Like, is that a thing? I don't know if that's a thing. Okay, flywheel, yes. So it takes a lot of energy to get moving, right? Like, it takes so much to get going, but then once it's going, it's really hard to stop. This business is a lot like that, like, in my opinion. That, like, it's same thing with, like, traction on Facebook, is that if you get it going, it goes really, really well, and it really operates like a well-oiled machine. It's great. But if you stop and it stops, it's really hard to start up again. So figure out those things that you need to be doing every day. Figure out what level is maintainable for you. So maybe inviting 20 people a day is a little unrealistic. Save that for cup month. But maybe inviting 3 to 5 people a day is realistic for you. Make that non-negotiable. And then if you happen to invite more than that, fantastic. You're that much further ahead in your business. But set some minimums for what you're going to do every single day and make sure that gets done. Because that, honestly, of all the things I talked about, yes, personal development is key. Yes, like, your vital behaviors, obviously. But doing that all consistently is the difference between being successful and not being successful. It was the key to my business, 100%. All right, I think that's all I have. That's enough.
I love it. I just think it's so easy, even for us sometimes, to really overlook what it takes to make it happen. And I think that sometimes, because we are creatures of habit and human, and we overthink and we overanalyze, that it's so easy sometimes when we struggle to just overlook the fact that what it takes to really have success in this business is simple. It is all simple. And when in doubt, and when you struggle, and when you have personal things going on in your life that make you feel distracted, if you can just show up and do those simple, consistent things, you will always be able to trust that you are moving forward no matter what. I just wanted to touch on a couple of things that you said, but one of the things that you mentioned that stuck out to me most is that that giving this business is a gift. It truly is a gift. And I think that the best thing that my coach ever did was recruit me. And I could definitely hear that from you as well, because Annalisa followed up with me for 4 to 5 months. And that's, I post a lot, you guys, on our pinned post where it says what we shout out for Success Club. And I have started now saying how long I've been talking to people for, so that you can see consistently that sometimes it takes 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months or a year before people actually finally come around enough to trust you and want to be ready. And I think Danielle's story just so beautifully speaks to the fact that you have to be ready for this. And until you are ready, and until you have that desperation or you have that inspiration to actually set a goal and just make shit happen and hustle for it and, you know, be disciplined and be consistent and all those things that she talked about, nothing really changes unless we change something. I know that I'm a little different because I just went balls to the wall from day one, but I can look at that and say that it was all from a place of desperation. And that's the beauty of this business, is that no timing is the same for anybody. It's just the timing that is right for you. And when you're ready to make this happen for you, and that is only a decision you can make. I also loved what you mentioned about a why. I was talking to Kelly and Laura about this the other day, actually, that a lot of times I think there is so much potential, and you know, it's sometimes consistent and sometimes not with certain people. And I think a lot of that plays into the fact that it's like that quote that says, the Helen Keller quote that says, there's nothing worse than being blind but having no vision. That if you don't have a vision and you don't have a solid reason to show up every day, that when it gets hard and when you miss goals and when you fall flat on your face and when you don't feel like showing up and doing it, you have nothing backing you that makes you do it anyways. When you have that why and when you have that vision, no matter how crazy things get, you'll always continue to show back up because you know the long term of what you're fighting for. Does anybody have any questions for Danielle or anything that she said that stuck out to you that you know to be true or that you just want to comment on?
I guess one of my questions would be, I'm one of the people that is wanting to go full time, and I feel like I've been doing it just over a year now, and my income is still so varied. Like, it's not to a point at all where I can afford to stay home. Like, it would be too much of a loss for my family. And my husband wouldn't let me do it anyway. He just made sure to tell me that when he heard you say that you quit your
You should get on a call with my husband because he wasn't super on board with it either, but I'm kind of one of those annoying headstrong women that I was kind of like, he actually told me, he's like, I think your mind was already made up before we had this conversation. I'm like, I'm pretty sure it was.
I know. And then I guess, like, how did you take I feel like there'll be, even no matter what, when I do it, even if my income surpasses my income as a nurse, that I will still be fearful just for the pressure of, you know, in a sense, being in sales, like having numbers to meet and having those things to meet in order to provide for my family in the way that I need to. So I guess just like your opinion, your feelings on that and how you kind of overcome if you had any of those same fears.
No, that's a fantastic question. Thank you so much for asking that, because that is a really good question. One piece of advice, you might be doing this already, but for anybody else, if you look at your income weekly and you don't look at it monthly, that is a huge detriment to your business. Look at it monthly, look at it your average weekly income, because this business is very variable. It is. I have a down week every single month that like is always less than the average of what else I make, and it's just kind of, it's part of the business. But looking at your average is really helpful. So do that. But what you're asking, when I talked about the shift that I felt when I quit, was my team. I was not earning the money that I was earning a year. Okay, I hit Success Club 10 pretty much every single month of being a coach, right? So I wasn't selling a ton of challenge packs at that point. Like, it wasn't, my income was not because of me increasing how many challenge packs I sold. That first month was a lot of challenge packs because I just wanted to give my business that boost that I needed to see in order to make it work. And that was when I hit the level that I wanted to be at when I quit. So it was about a month shy of when I wanted to be there. But I didn't maintain that level going forward. So it was my team. Like, it's all about volume and placement. So if that's something you want to talk about, I know I told Dana I would do this at some point, but I would be happy to, some other call, talk about, I'm really passionate about that actually. Like, I love numbers and I'm really big on volume and placement and benefiting yourself in a way that it pays big time. Like, it's because that can make or break your income in a lot of ways.
Well, I just feel like, I mean, just for example, like sold 3 challenge packs today, 2 for coaches and 1 for a customer. And my volume this week is my right leg, left leg ratio is horrible. You know, I have Dana's volume getting me to 2,100 or something on my left, and then I'm at like 100 on my right. So it's like, I mean, the chances of me cycling is nothing, you know?
Right. So what is your, just since we're talking about that, yeah, active coaches for sure is a big thing. You want to get active coaches in your business, but what is your, like, do you, because you're diamond, right, Laura? Like, you're like star diamond, yes?
Yeah, I will be. Yeah. I have a lifetime star diamond, but I'm on the back right now.
So what is your ratio of coaches on your legs? Like, do you know that
I
offhand?
have, I basically just have 2 working coaches on my left leg, on my strong leg, and then I have 2 working coaches, one of whose isn't really working, and then my husband, who I have at Emerald as well.
Okay, so this is the way that my business is structured, and this, I don't know if this will help you at all, but like, my right leg is my strong leg. That's my shared leg with my upline, and my left leg is all me. So my right leg's volume is like sky. Like, I'm not anywhere near maxing my cycles yet. But when I built my business, I only have at any given time 4 to 6 active coaches on my right. Not running the business, just active coaches on my right side.
Okay.
All of my other coaches are on my left side. So like,
Right.
I have 6 coaches right now who are in active status on my right leg. I have like, let's see, I have 20 active coaches on my left leg, including my husband's account and my second CVC.
Right.
So you want to just maintain on the side that you share with Dana, you want to maintain your roughly 4 to 6. I do 6 just to give myself a little buffer if someone goes active and keep my diamond. Put that over there, and then literally everyone else goes on the left or your other side, your weak leg. Literally everyone, especially your active coaches. So like, if you're setting up a new active coach, and forgive me, Dana, maybe this isn't what Dana would tell you to do, but like, if you're signing up an active coach and you like have big things, like you see big things for this coach, like you're like, this person's going to blow it up, and you are possibly going to lose your diamond, that person still needs to go on your weak leg. I don't care. Like, if you're going to lose your diamond on the side that's a strong leg, I don't care. You sacrifice it for income. Rachel Khalil, I don't know if I think she spoke on your call before, Dana, and she even like preached to me about this, that you need to decide what is most important to you. Is it income or is it rank? Because at some point you will have to sacrifice for the other. So if you decide income's where it's at and that's what you're pushing for, then that is where your focus is. Losing diamond, losing star diamond, it doesn't matter. Like, you need to be game planning for the future. So like, if you have this active coach who's going to come in and like going to just blow it up, you want them on your weak leg, because that's where you're going to see the cycle happen. When I quit my job, I had 2 active coaches on my weak leg, one who hit diamond within 30 days and she signed up her sister-in-law at the same time that she became a coach, and she hit diamond shortly after that. So I all of a sudden had 2 diamond coaches very much working the business on my left leg, in addition to some other coaches who were kind of hobby coaching at that time. So that's the difference, because you really want to get your volume to a 1-to-2 ratio. Like, you have to be focused, laser focused on that. Don't even pay attention. Honestly, like, this is gonna sound bad, but don't even pay attention to your income right now. Pay attention to your volume, because that's where you want to build your business. Like, paying attention to income for me, every time I was focused on income, my business would suffer, because all of a sudden people became dollar signs, and like, all of a sudden I was worried about stuff and I became negative, and it weighed me down. I'm all about money. Don't get me wrong. Like, money pays the bills, money it doesn't make you happy, but it definitely helps. Like, that was the theme we had at retreat, was that it's not going to make you happy. Like, if you're unhappy, you're going to be unhappy with or without money, but it can alleviate some stress in your life. So like, I'm all for money, don't get me wrong, but that should not be where your focus is. Like, if that's where you're focusing on, it's something you check it weekly, check it every Thursday, re-look at your, like how you're trending, and like, I mean, pay attention to it, but your focus needs to be on your volume. Like, that's the thing that you can control. So bringing in coaches, and I'm not saying you have to bring in diamond coaches every day. I'm saying coaches who hit Success Club. That's what you want. So every coach who comes in and says, I want to run this business, you tell them the first goal that we have for you is hitting business starter. That's our very first goal. You know what that takes? You helping 3 people with a challenge pack. That's it. that will earn you $100 this month. You will be a coach and you will hit Success Club 5. You'll be a business starter. Ta-da, congratulations, and we can move on. Not even Emerald. Don't even talk about Emerald. I would talk about Success Club with them because that's going to build your volume and it's going to build their confidence. And it's going to help them see success as a coach in general down the road. Like if they can get in the habit right away of hitting Success Club, your business, their business, everyone's businesses will flourish. So that would be my advice to you is narrow it down to that when you bring on your active coaches, that's what you discuss. Them hitting Success Club and making sure that they're on your week leg. And you'll feel it, Laura. Like when that time comes that you're feeling that shift that I talk about, and like everyone talks about this, and I remember people talking about it before I felt it. I was like, what the hell is this shift everybody keeps talking about? This is garbage. But you totally feel it when it's happening. Like it's like suddenly like the people that you wanted to attract are suddenly like flocking to you. Like everyone you ask says yes. And like it's just this weird feeling of like things are moving in a way that I feel good about. So that will happen. But I would put your focus on your volume 100%. Like every person goes on that weak leg unless you need to plug someone in and it's a discount coach. It doesn't really matter. Like then maybe you can reassess because you want to still be cycling at $18 a cycle. You want to keep your diamond. But that was the only rank that I refused to lose was my diamond. But Star Diamond, I've gone up and down. I've been 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 1 star, 3 star, 4 star. I don't even know. Like doesn't matter. Because it doesn't change my income. It doesn't change what I'm actually shooting for. So, I don't know if that actually answered your question, but I'm happy to talk to you more about that. I hate keeping everybody on late, but like, I'm happy to talk with you more about it outside of this too.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And sorry to your husband for giving him a heart attack or.
We got this.
If live video was a thing, when I told Zach, I should have live streamed our conversation because that was something for the record books. His faces were just like, they're like etched in my memory. Like they're so, it was so great.
Does anybody else have questions for Danielle? No. All right, Danielle, thank you so much for hopping on and taking time out of your night to share. I hope that everybody got something out of this. I know that for me, it's even a great reminder still of just the hammering in on the basics and really honing in on that to keep going in the direction we want to go. Thanks, ladies, for hopping on tonight. Good to see your
Thanks
faces.
for having me, everyone. And if you think of any questions after this, don't be afraid to PM me. Like, send me a message. I'm happy to answer after the fact.
Super friendly, and she'll make you laugh. Promise.
I might yell at you a little bit too. It's all right. I yell a lot.
You are kind of a hard ass.
I am. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Bye, ladies.